Ah, the replacement. That poor, unsuspecting soul, walking in as if they were stepping into some fairy tale. They were captivated by the charm, the lies, and the smooth promises of the person who left you behind. They believed they were special, that they were different, that it wouldn't be the same with them. I'm different from the others, they thought. I can handle it. But oh, how wrong they were. And soon, very soon, they're going to find out just how mistaken they've been. You see, the truth has a funny way of showing itself. It never stays hidden for long. No matter how much someone tries to bury it under layers of manipulation and deception, it always finds a way to claw its way to the surface. And when it does, that's when the real story begins. The replacement, the one who thought they could take your place, they're starting to see it now, aren't they? Slowly but surely, those cracks are beginning to appear. They've noticed the charm fading. The mask is starting to crumble. The same little tricks, the same manipulations that once worked on you, they're being used again. It's only a matter of time before the replacement realizes that the same lies they were fed are the ones you once choked on. They're starting to feel the suffocation, that weight pressing on their chest, the constant tension of walking on eggshells, afraid of triggering another storm. Because here's the thing, they've seen the true colors now. And once you've seen someone for who they really are, once that mask is off, you can't unsee it. It's there, like a stain that can't be washed away, no matter how hard they try. The replacement thought they could fix them, just like you once did. They thought they could be the one to change them, but now they're realizing, just as you did, that you can't change someone who doesn't want to change. And you've been here before, haven't you? You know this dance all too well. You know what happens next. The replacement will begin to unravel. They'll start questioning themselves, just as you once did. They'll start wondering if they're the problem, if they're not enough, if they're not loving hard enough. They'll twist themselves in knots trying to make it work, just like you did. But the truth is that it was never about you, and it's not about them either. It's about the person who left you behind. The one who spent their life using people as band-aids for their own brokenness. The one who pulls people in, makes them feel special, makes them feel like they're the exception, until they're not, until they're tossed aside, replaced by someone new to fill the void. But that void, it's bottomless. And no matter how many people they try to fill it with, it's never going to be enough. The replacement, they're starting to see that now. They're beginning to feel the weight of being the next in line, the weight of carrying someone else's unresolved issues, someone else's baggage, someone else's insecurities. And here's the thing, they'll leave soon. They really don't have a choice, because no one can stay in a toxic environment forever. Eventually, even the most patient, the most optimistic, the most hopeful person will reach their breaking point. And that's the thing about replacements, isn't it? They never last. They're just temporary patches for the wound, a distraction from the real issue. The person who left you behind thought they could move on, thought they could replace you. But deep down, they knew. They knew they could never truly replace you. Because you, my friend, are irreplaceable. You were never the problem. You were the mirror, the reflection of all the things they didn't want to face. But now, they'll have to. Because once the replacement leaves, and they will, oh, they will, that's when the reckoning begins. That's when the walls start closing in. That's when the person who left you behind will be forced to confront the reality they've been running from. That no one can fill the void they carry inside. No one can fix what they refuse to admit is broken. You see, it's all coming full circle now. The replacement, the one who thought they were stepping into something better, something shiny and new. They're starting to see the rust. They're starting to see the decay beneath the surface. And soon they'll be gone too, just like you were, just like those before you were. Because here's the truth. The person who left you behind, They can't keep anyone, not for long. Not when their true colors start to show. Not when the mask slips, revealing the ugliness beneath. And that's when the cycle begins again. They'll find someone new. Another poor soul who thinks they can fix what's broken. Someone else who believes the lies, the charm, the sweet nothings whispered in the dark. But we know better, don't we? We've seen it all before. The replacement will leave, and they'll be left with nothing but the cold, hard truth. The truth that they're the common denominator in all their failed relationships. The truth that no matter how many replacements they find, it'll never be enough. Because they themselves aren't enough for anyone, not even for themselves. And here's the kicker. They know it. Deep down, they know. That's why they keep running. Keep finding new people to distract themselves from the emptiness inside. But no matter how many times they start over, they'll always end up right back where they began. Alone, empty, miserable. You, though, you're out of the game now. You've broken free. But them, they'll never escape. They'll always be trapped in the cycle they created. Because truthfully, they were never capable of love. Not real love, anyway. Real love requires vulnerability. It requires honesty. It requires self-reflection, the willingness to admit your flaws and mistakes. But that's something they'll never do. They'll always run. They'll always blame the other person. They'll always find someone new to take the place of the one they pushed away. But soon, very soon, they'll run out of replacements. They'll run out of people willing to put up with their lies, their games, their manipulations. And when that day comes, when they're left with no one but themselves, that's when they'll have to face the truth. The truth that you were never the problem. The truth that they were. And when that day comes, my friends, when they're left standing in the ruins of all the relationships they've destroyed, oh, how sweet that moment will be. Because they'll finally see what you've known all along. You see, the thing about people like them is that they always think they can outsmart the consequences. They believe they can escape accountability, hop from one person to the next, using hearts like stepping stones to avoid their own reflection. But you and I know better, don't we? Consequences catch up, and no matter how fast they run, no matter how high they climb on the shoulders of their next victim, they can't outrun the one thing they fear most: the truth. It's ironic, really. They thought they could replace you like a broken toy, imagining the next one would be shinier, less of a hassle. But what they didn't understand is that you weren't the problem. You were the standard. You showed them what real, genuine connection feels like. And now, they're stuck with someone who lacks the patience, the love, the compassion you once gave so freely. Their replacement can't fill that void, and never will. Every day they're haunted by their choice. Maybe not obviously, not yet, but it's there, quietly nagging at them. The more they push it away, the louder it grows, until one day, it will scream. They'll wake up and realize that the very person they thought would be their savior has become the source of their torment. The replacement was never a solution, just a temporary band-aid over a deep wound they refused to address. And that's the irony, isn't it? They thought that leaving you behind would set them free from the chains they imagined. But now, they're tangled in a mess of their own making. The web they spun to trap others has caught them instead. They thought they were the puppeteer, but now they're the ones dangling on a thread, helpless in the storm they created. And the best part? There's no one to save them now. Not you, not the replacement, not anyone. It's poetic, really.